And you're on. All right, well, we're back, and we're here with Jay Hubbs from Remington.
Correct. Yes. Nice to see you.
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Always appreciate you just saying yes without knowing what you're getting into.
Yes.
The willingness of this show has been fantastic.
You didn't tell me I was going to be flanked here. I don't know which direction.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, somehow you're going to get stabbed. It's not a good interview if you're not.
Okay.
So, Jay, we're going to talk about the same things we've talked to everyone else about. Well, what I think is interesting is you've lived on both sides of the industry. You've been hotel and vendor and hotel and vendor.
OTA and
you just can't
vendor.
decide.
No, I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah, hey, you have to grow up first, I guess.
Wanted somebody
Not planning on doing that.
Wanted somebody with empathy for all the players.
Yes.
Right. Well, yes. I like sitting in these sessions and saying, yes, I can see multiple sides.
Yeah.
All five sides of
of
it. They do not mean a word of that. And they're keeping a straight face. That's unbelievable.
Which of this is completely
Complete and utter bullshit.
completely fake news?
Yeah, fake news. So, speaking of alternative facts.
Alternative facts, that's right.
So we've been asking everyone this question because
Okay.
we think, we're here with HSMAI, and HSMAI is about education.
Right.
What advice do you have for new marketers getting into the hospitality industry today? Besides run. Don't do it.
I think one of the panelists this morning said it very well, probably much more eloquently than I can, but you really have to immerse yourself in everything that's going on in the space, and that's hard to do. Scott this morning showed his graphic, and he said when he started it was only 150 vendors, and there was 300, and now it's 3,500. I think plus, and that was this morning.
Yeah, that was this morning.
Now there's 3,600.
Yeah.
But it's really just understanding what that ecosystem looks like, and what, not just who the players are, but what role they play in the process. It's very hard to do, and so for new marketers, it's about learning who the big fish are out there and what they do and what the benefits they offer to hotels or clients, and what their strengths are. Understanding what that landscape looks like. It's an education process, as you mentioned. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm continually learning and educating myself and iterating. So for a newbie out there, it's a constant. Where can I get more information and learn these things? Because that's part of what you have to do. You're not just going to get a textbook, because that textbook was obsolete.
So do you think because you've been a vendor, you've been with an OTA, you've been in hotels, do you feel like you have a different perspective on how to tackle these types of exploratory projects that you need to undergo?
Well, of course I do. And that's
Right you are.
Right you are. I think I do land a good vantage point for whether it's my hotels or my company or my clients, or just work with people in the industry, because I have sat on the other side as an OTA. I have talked to hotels about what that value proposition is. I sit on side now where I'm a manager and tied to an ownership group, and we're obviously looking at the distribution base. We're looking at a very finite budget of where we want to spend money. So I feel like I can offer that perspective pretty readily, maybe more so than other people haven't.
And do your peers find that annoying?
Okay.
My peers find me annoying just in general.
Stop coming at me with facts and figures. It's just
I don't think that has anything to do with my professional background. I think it's just a personal attribute.
The whole rationalization.
Basically.
Although I do think Scott needs to an addendum to his book. It's Deadpool of all those 3,500 companies.
Right, there should be a Deadpool.
Yeah, there should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably just adds to it, right?
I don't think he's subtracting.
Taking those out.
Bullet holes.
So across, you're saying that vast numbers out there. What really excites you for something that hospitality digital marketers can now start to do? They have the capability. The best, most exciting stuff you see.
Besides flip.
Besides flip.
Correct.
that was my first answer.
I know. I didn't want you to have to feel like you
had to like
say
grab for it.
Yeah.
And it was nice of you to resist saying, "What's flipped?" Because then we'll get them going. We do not want to do that.
I thought it was flip.to.
It's from Tonga.
It's a common thing. If you haven't noticed in my history of owning companies, I named my companies poorly.
Okay.
Because Easy Yield,
Yes.
only American English speakers understand Easy Yield.
Is why
Every other
you,
English speaker, it's EZ Yield.
Oh, EZ Yield.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. So
That's right. So you,
and then now flip.
All the
so
way
you
from-
learned from that.
all the way
Right.
from
Okay.
E to Z. They cover
Yes.
that whole spectrum.
Yes.
The A through D, just not so much.
Yeah.
So,
Everyone starts at
So
A.
what other than flip.to? In all seriousness, I think there is a push towards this user-generated content, and it's not just talking about Ed's company. We are constantly looking at that there's great content out there that is being created by whether it's our guests or people in our area, and that's what is more interesting, arguably, than a page of content that I have a content team write. Right? If you want to experience one of my resorts in Key West, are you going to read all that script that I've written about it, or you just want to see great pictures,
Fun
cocktails,
videos.
fun video, that
people not
the
staying.
room looks nice and not the professionally shot room, but something that looks legit because we have great rooms there.
Yeah.
with great guests in them. What do you know?
And
with
great
people,
guests there, too.
People are in
Yes.
there instead of just
Yeah.
architectural shots
Oh,
at night.
yeah. Like, so you're saying we shouldn't have hotel websites that look like furniture catalogs?
I did not say that, but you did.
Well, I'm putting those words in your
I know.
mouth. Like,
No,
I will.
Jay wanted to
I will
suggest
agree
that-
with you.
yeah,
But
porticos and furniture.
Yeah, the portico is the homepage. I
Right.
think is what he was trying to say.
Right. So we agree.
we have lots of excellent portico films.
Hey,
and I
listen,
like,
and the portico sales.
and I like them too.
You know, the group of the portico salespeople who are behind the scenes pulling all the strings
Yes.
in hospitality have done an amazing
Doing a
job.
great job.
Getting their porticos featured.
That said, I think it is important to understand who your target audience is.
Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
we're talking about a younger demographic, millennials, call it what it is. But for some of my hotels, that is not who comes to my property.
Right.
And so it's not to say I don't need stock photography, I don't need professionally shot content.
Right.
But I think what we're finding more and more, and what we're actually doing a great job getting that message through to ownership, is we need more.
Yep.
Right? When we talk about a
Well,
marketing expense,
Long form. There is a need for long form content. Having someone write about what do you do
Yes.
when you
Yeah.
stay at this hotel.
That's right.
Like, because it's not about the bed and the pillow. Like, that's
no,
a part of the
and it's not just
decision.
about what's there.
Right.
Right.
We're embarking on a project right now which we broadly call localization. But fundamentally, what is endemic to our hotel locally that makes it more relevant? Which obviously there's SEO components to that, but really, Google talks about it's not about putting things on your page so that
Right.
you can game the rankings. It's because people want to know.
Right.
People want to know, is your hotel close to Hamilton?
Right.
Right? Or what is nearby, here, or back to Key West, where is your hotel on Key West? Is it
What mile marker?
on
Exactly.
Duval Street at a key part of town, or are you over by the Causeway, which maybe that's what you want to be, right? You just want to know,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. I mean, I look at long form content as something that actually I believe TripAdvisor has done a really good job of creating.
Sure.
So not just their user generated, but they write some great
They do.
blogs.
Well,
about-
they brought Wendy Perrinan, who spent 28 years at Condé Nast.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's their, I think they call it consumer advocate or
Consumer
whatever.
advocate.
But she's out there, getting people to write things and find out what are interesting stories and places to go and things to do, which is what Condé Nast Traveler sort of does. And if you can bring it into TripAdvisor, then more power to TripAdvisor.
So as part of your localization effort, are you tapping your staff at all? Like the actual locals who work for you?
Yes.
Because I think that's a brilliant strategy. I'm glad you said yes, because God, that would have been a really short line of questioning.
No, we have a despicably
Because
horrible
I find
staff.
it funny that of all the businesses in a location, the one who employs the most locals is generally the hotel.
Yep.
So, more so than Expedia's local experts,
Right.
more so than Airbnb, you have more locals.
We do.
Right.
Than any other entity. So,
Right.
I think it's very wise that you
It is, and
doing
we're
that.
constantly trying to engage with our property.
I'm glad you
saying,
agree that I think
well,
you're wise. Like, there was no hesitation. It is wise, Ed. Right you are.
Good point.
So humble.
Wow, this is enlightening experience.
I promised you it would be fun for me, for you.
Exactly.
So yes, next question.
Next question.
We'll edit it all out
Yeah.
later.
Yeah,
right?
we will shorten it to only
Lauren
those
will-
parts.
yeah.
Where I
so-
agree with you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so we talked about what about the things that really kind of scare you?
Yeah, what scares you?
What's the
Not the creepy clowns in the woods,
You mean
but in digital
snake,
marketing.
You mean snake
Digital
clowns?
Yes, exactly. Snake. Now that you've said that, that's all I can picture.
and now,
Lego Batman.
now
Yep.
Ed's trying to figure out which one of his hotels has a problem with snake clowns.
snake-
Oh my
No,
God.
that was straight out of Lego Batman.
We do not have any snake clowns.
How old are
what's-
your kids?
Old enough that we go see the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I feel like this whole area is the classic notion of who moved my cheese, right?
Yes.
Which I think is sort of a
famous business
maybe even
book.
baby boomer
Yeah.
generation of here it is. I'm focused on this is what I need to do, and 4 months later, I mean, it used to be like 2 or 3 years later, and now it's 4 months, or it's 4 weeks, or it's tomorrow, or it's hey, I've got this great new
lunch.
site, or I've got this great new thing that I'm going to launch, and then something changes in the dynamic that moves it. And whether
I
it's
found a great way to avoid failure is have zero expectations for what the end is. Because if you have zero expectations for where you're going,
Yeah.
you're never let down.
And are those expectations
have
what
both.
your investors share in your abilities?
That's
to come
why I
together?
guess I'm the sole investor.
Okay, well there we go.
What are you aiming to do? I don't know. Help hotels.
do you have conversations with yourself at night? around this?
Constantly. Why do
Okay.
you think I
Oh,
can
yeah.
talk about most things? Because I am
Schizophrenia.
constantly
Talking
The
to
You're
schizophrenic-
already behind the conversation.
Schizophrenic debates are so engaging.
Yes.
And,
Yes, absolutely.
So no, but seriously, what sorts of things?
so I mean,
what
you
worries
can,
you about?
But you can look at any vendor, partner, tool out there, and
He's referring to you when he says
a tool, yeah.
yes.
no, but if you say like I need to get all this traffic from Google, right?
Yep.
And 6 months later, that can completely change. And we do a lot of stuff on Facebook, which is great. We find that we get great engagement, we get great click-through rates, we get great impressions, and in the span of 2 months, that kind of went to crap.
The algorithm
Right.
changes, and
Yep.
where'd we go?
Yep. TripAdvisor the same way. For our independent sites, getting a lot of traffic from TripAdvisor. They changed their ATTP, so now all of a sudden it looks like our TripAdvisor went to 0. I know my TripAdvisor didn't go to 0, but so and there are OTAs, you can't live without them. And there are a lot of smart people, and I think when I worked there, we talked about how fast the different brands would iterate, and Expedia, Dara knows this, was very, very slow, very slow. I think they did like 4 releases a year. Now I don't even know how many releases they do, but they talk about
They're much faster.
they do
They're faster.
2,000 tests across the
Right.
brands in a year,
I'll
right?
tell you,
So
Hundreds
someone
of
who
thousands, but
someone
they
who knew
spend-
Expedia well because of what I used to do. I took a little time off after selling the company from paying attention to what Expedia was doing, and then they invited me to come judge a hackathon. And the premise of the hackathon was all these APIs that they've opened up.
Yeah.
And when I looked at all the data that they're making available, it blows my mind. First of all, it makes me say to the other channel managers that existed, you kids today have it so good.
Yeah.
Because there was none of that in
Yeah.
my day.
Yeah.
But their pace of change, because I've even seen them
phenomenal.
implement. I've
Yes.
seen them implement learnings from that hackathon.
Oh yeah, sure.
Less than a year later.
Right.
And to me, they've done a good job of constantly recreating themselves.
And they did that by spending literally hundreds of millions of dollars on their infrastructure.
Yes.
Which they got beat up brutally by Wall Street for this.
Yeah.
You know, all the people looking for earnings and saying, just wait, we're investing more.
Right.
This is going to take a while. Be patient. It's not the friendliest sort of conversation.
No. And they put Hotels.com on the platform, I want to say in 2010.
Yeah.
And Hotels.com went through a horrible year.
Yeah.
And then they put Expedia on that the year after, and Expedia brand had a horrible year. And you're right, the investors were like, what are you doing? And they said, just trust us, this is a long-term play. And now it's starting to bear out. And like you said, they're testing all kinds of things. I think they've really adopted the minimum viable product,
which is a huge change.
Yeah, and I think obviously the whole notion of failing fast, is something that I think Layla talked about this morning. We as a hotel industry are not very good.
They're like, don't fail, you'll lose your job.
Do not
fail at no cost.
Exactly.
Well, but I think that's a cultural shift that is slowly happening, because fundamentally, you talk about running a hotel like this, you don't want to fail your guest, right? That you say failure is not an option. What can I do to take care of that guest? What is it?
Yeah.
Well, but from a digital standpoint, there are things that I can do. There are things that I can test.
Micro failures.
Maybe I might piss you off a little bit, but maybe you'll come.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll.
I'll make it up somewhere else.
I'll make it up somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I think there's constant change, and that's the exciting part of it. But it is also the difficult aspect. Yes, the scary part.
Yeah.
Who knows? Just internally, let alone sort of external political forces, or like this said today, like Zika. There's constantly something
Zika
that
was
is
rough.
impacting.
I was in Puerto Rico. I went to Puerto Rico during the heart of this. Now it didn't matter because I live in Florida, so I was exposed to Zika anyway. So I'm not having kids anymore, so who cares? But I was talking to the GM of the Waldorf there, and he was talking about, man, this has been really
dried
hard
up
on us.
Oh, yeah?
And one of the suggestions I gave him was, you should put a webcam on.
Yeah.
Just so when people come to your site, they can see it's business as usual. Because you picture the worst, especially with what the media does.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I had a great lesson in that because I lived not far from where the Trayvon Martin thing happened. And when you watch national news, you would think it was riots in the streets.
Everywhere. Right.
Gun,
And yet,
open guns
I walk
away.
out my front door and it's like, yeah, okay, everything's fine. Local news, everything's fine. So I had said to the GM, as part of the damage control, let's get rid of the worst case that people have in their heads. Let them see the fact that there are families here playing,
having fun,
outside, having fun. And you can see
getting
it.
the mosquitoes off of them. Spraying.
Right. Kids. Yeah.
3 inches of DEET.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. There's just citronella candles everywhere.
The new deep dip station next to the pool is great.
Yes, exactly. But I mean, that's the point. Is that type of stuff that happens to you? You do need to have a thought process on what are people probably thinking, and then how do I combat that? To kind of not have it kill me.
And I do think that there's a knee-jerk reaction that the OTAs are where I turn to. Right? It's an easy pay for performance channel.
Yeah.
I can either up my commissions. I can pay for placement. I can do different things, and that can work, obviously, and that's not a bad thing. But to your point, there should be other things that you're trying to do to educate a consumer that, hey, not everything's bad.
And that is a challenge for the industry because if it's a low friction route that you can get approved, we're just going to do this. It slides through not a ton of layers of approval or this. It's just like green light it. Then they tend to kind of go that way versus hey, here's something really good. It's a little complicated. We got to do this. We spend some more, but better mid to long term returns. So this start getting tough.
It does get tough.
Yeah, you're right. That's great. So how do you stay current? What do you do to make sure that when you come on a show like this,
every night
you're not talking about faxes while we're talking about emails?
I sleep in a hyperbaric chamber that just infiltrates all the news sources into my head, and I wake up just angry.
He now sleeps with a machete under his pillow, but yeah, besides that.
Tinfoil hat, angry.
Right? Yeah, my wife knows to open the chamber very slowly.
Just because of the scream,
yeah,
the
right.
sound wave from the scream, it'll jar a filling out of your...
There are a lot of things that I read or I watch on Friday mornings.
The lighter side.
11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central.
That's right.
9:30 Pacific.
That's SpongeBob? Oh, wait. Oh, wait, no.
There's a pineapple under the sea. But it is about finding the sources that sort of resonate with what you're part of the business. I do read a number of things that are more asset focused because we're tied to an asset manager.
Yeah.
But from a marketing standpoint, there are a number of blogs that I stay up on. Listening to you gentlemen is
Makes you feel incredibly smart.
I just want to feel better about myself. I listen to these jokes.
There's a new benchmark.
When I want to hear about the news from 4 or 5 weeks ago, I'll watch the show.
Ouch! But at least you're getting more current. At least you're getting real, meaty conversation about 4 or 5 week old news. Right.
It's kind of like South Park, right?
Right.
They say they can't do anything about the current administration because it just moves too fast.
Right.
Does that make Tim Kenny? I don't know. He's not here.
And yes, he's the one who's constantly missing.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you guys kill Tim?
Did we?
No.
Next week, on this week.
He was here last night. That was it. He had to run off.
So, great. What are you doing next? So you're here in New York. Where are you off to next?
The bathroom.
And with that, thank you for joining us, Jay. Because that is how we are going to end it. Jay Hubbs from Remington, thank you for being such a good sport and allowing us to
And Robert,
badger you.
Lauren.
Thank you, sir.
And now
Thanks for having me.
Now you know what to expect. You can come on the show and be a participant.
And Lauren
yeah,
wants to be called Cartman. From
Cartman.
now on, I think.
Oh, man.
Kitty.
And with that.